Super Smash September! What makes the GameCube Controller unique? There's never been such a natural companion to Super Smash Bros. Than the GameCube Controller. Whether it's Indigo, Black, Platinum, or the Smash Logo Special Edition, it is probably the most beloved controller of all consoles. Even in the fighting game community that adores the control and precision of a fight stick, the GameCube Controller is so tied to the iconic gameplay of Smash that it had to literally be ported to the Wii U with the GameCube adapter. Of course, the Smash series wouldn't really be fit for a fight stick, but even the new controller options just didn't quite jive with the fanatic Smash community, although some players do actually prefer them. What makes the GameCube controller unique was its focus on ergonomics that offered the smoothest controls for just about any video game. Controllers have come a long way over the years. They need to not only feel good in the hands, but be the input method for all kinds of games. Take the NES controller. Only having a D-pad and two main face buttons doesn't leave a lot of room for variety. But even in the simplest games did it have an understanding of ergonomics. Ergonomics is the study of comfort and how human beings interact with objects both physically and mentally. For a video game to have an input method like a controller, it not only needs to feel good to hold, but developers need to choose the buttons in a way that feels optimal and natural to use. Take Super Mario Bros. The A button was jump and the B button handled running and shooting fireballs. It's the simplest design, but playing it with the NES gamepad displays the basics of ergonomics. B is placed on the inner right side, and A is immediately adjacent. When pressing the B button, the average thumb would also slightly cover the A button. This allowed a player to hold the run button and jump with just a slight roll of the thumb. This is why the handful of games that swapped these buttons always felt off. The form factor of the controller made the thumb lay across the face buttons, making the A button quick access from the B button, but not vice versa. Although later consoles opted for a cross-shaped layout for the face buttons, the GameCube stands out for its completely original button layout. Any Nintendo fan who has seen a GameCube controller can tell that this layout is really different. A giant A button, a small B button, kidney-shaped X and Y buttons, it bears a very memorable, albeit unorthodox, design. This too played into the ergonomics of video games. In the wake of larger controllers having handles for bigger hands, thumbs now lay perfectly over the A button, which again was commonly the jump button. Reaching for the B button still gave quick access to the A button when in a pinch, but from the A button, X was also a short roll away. Games simply needed to be designed to have the most used buttons as B and A, just like Smash. The X and Y buttons are placed for easy access, but in a game where they don't need much use, they're not in the way. Even when pressing the Y button, players could simply slide their hand slightly up the controller and still hit A with the lower part of their thumb, and X is still a quick roll to the right. During fast-paced action, having these buttons available with quick and easy movements made it control smoothly without ever confusing buttons. Cross-shaped button layouts have their advantages too, but Nintendo found a design that favors the A button while keeping the other buttons even easier to reach. Triggers were also a must-have in the gaming market at this point, which Nintendo also started back on the Super Nintendo. Incorporating the index finger, third-person shooters were able to grow to prominence thanks in part to the ease of shooting and not to mention the groundbreaking second analog stick. The GameCube controller too brought new innovations to the trigger in general, being the only of its kind to offer both a digital and analog signal. Light touches gave lots of room for use in racing games, where the accelerator could be used to different amounts, but at the end, there was a click that worked perfectly in shooters and other fast-paced games. Although Sony had already adopted having two shoulder buttons on each side, the GameCube made the most of having one trigger on each side, although the Z button definitely hybrids that as well. Even in Super Smash Bros. Melee did it make use of the triggers by offering a light shield ability. And for that matter, even the placement of the Y button, although likely unintended, was close enough to the Z button that many pro players even adopted a claw grip in order to use their index finger for jumping. With the NX on the horizon, it'll be interesting to see if the controller will last into future generations. But for simply being a controller, to last through multiple generations of consoles with no needed updates or revisions is a testament to the level of ergonomics that Nintendo had designed. Although not far off from what other controllers were doing, the features of the GameCube controller made it blend perfectly with lots of genres, from platformers, racers, shooters, and of course, fighting games. Its distinct button layout catered to many audiences and age groups. The ergonomics made it cover a variety of genres in a way that a traditional button layout doesn't fully optimize. The main reason Nintendo went back to the cross-shaped layout was to cater to audiences that were used to the norm and wanted a more contemporary design, which admittedly is the only issue with the GameCube. It looked a bit childish. Although the general gaming audience may think it's weird, Nintendo fans know that this is the way to play. That is what makes the GameCube controller unique. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you'd like to see more videos that discuss what makes any video game, peripheral or otherwise, stand out, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.